Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew, and what I have for you today are just 10 of my favorite survival skills, tips, tricks, and hacks with a meal ready to eat or an MRE. With this military ration and a little bit of creative thinking and improvisation, we can take the contents inside and not only provide for our most basic needs in a survival situation, but we can have a little bit of fun too, thinking outside the box and developing some tricks that we can use the next time we're out in the field. Stand by. I'm willing to bet that many of you know what an MRE is, and many of you have actually tasted one. So welcome to the club. But for those that are unaware, this is the MRE, and I'm going to go over the contents of a typical meal so we know what we're working with today. This meal is chicken and noodles, and we have that main or that entree, and we have a couple of sides that come with this meal. We have crackers with peanut butter and apple jelly, the worst of the jellies, and then we also have applesauce raspberry puree, which is pretty good. We also get a treat typically with this meal. We have Skittles in this one because, of course, we need something to break our teeth on while we're out in the field. We also have that flameless ration heater, the drink bag, that drink mix, and then we have the cardboard that the main goes in while we heat. And we also have the accessory packets with sugar, salt, matches, wet wipe, TP, and then some hot sauce so we can flavor our meal. For our first trick, we are going to make MRE Frosting. What we need is our drink mix, our spoon, and then the pound cake from the meal. This meal did not come with a pound cake, so I stopped at the shop on the way out and found the first thing on the shelf that looked like a pound cake, which is this honey bun, and we're going to use that to replace the pound cake. And what we do is grab that drink mix, we're going to open it up, we're going to grab water from our canteen, and we're only going to add just a little bit of water. A little bit's going to go a long way. Grab that spoon, and now we can start stirring it up. As we stir, we need to incorporate all the dry mix, and it's going to form a very thick consistency, thus the name frosting. And once we have it to the right consistency, if we haven't added more water, we put it aside, open up that MRE pound cake, or the honey bun in this case, peel back the plastic so we have a nice plate, and we can grab our frosting, throw it right on top, spread it around, and now we have our cake and our frosting, and we can sit back and enjoy our creation in the patrol base. Gordon Ramsay, eat your heart out. Time to go fishing. It seems like this MRE spoon has endless uses. Another way we can utilize this spoon is by cutting off certain portions to create gorge hooks so we can go fishing at the water's edge to try to get some game from that water. What we're going to do is cut out the center portion of the handle of this MRE spoon, leaving us the spoon intact so we can use it to stir up our future MRE frosting. We're going to take that cutout portion and then sharpen the ends and thin it down just enough with the hole off center, tying our fishing line to it to create our gorge hook to go after that fish. Now all we have to do is slide a worm on this, fitting the gorge hook down inside the worm, throw it in the water, and before you know it, we've got a fish on the line and we've got food. I came into service back when we were still spit shining our boots with Kiwi shoe polish. There, I've dated myself. But we're going to take that old school item, that Kiwi shoe polish, the matches and TP from our MRE, and a little bit of 100-mile-an-hour tape to make a super match. What we do is remove the matches from the match book. We're going to have 2 pages, and then we grab some TP, rub it in that Kiwi shoe polish, and then roll it up. We're going to wrap the matches around the shoe polish on the TP, and then using 100-mile-an-hour tape, we just tape the whole thing together. We could dip this in wax to keep it waterproof, or we can place it in a nice container to save for later, but now we have our super match and we're ready to light. Old school film canister makes a perfect container for these super matches. It's dry, weatherproof, waterproof, protected and out of the way until we absolutely need these matches to start a survival fire. But once we have that lit, the matches will burn, igniting the TP inside with that Kiwi shoe polish, which is mostly paraffin wax, a long-lasting flame source for a fire. And of course, if we are without matches and without 100-mile-an-hour tape to create a super match, we can still just use that MRE toilet paper and that Kiwi shoe polish or some sort of petroleum jelly like Vaseline to create a simple Tinder Source or a flame extender to use to get a survival fire going. If we have that TP that we save so we can do our business in the woods, and we just happen to have that Kiwi shoe polish in our pocket for some reason, we can still make a Tinder Source by taking the TP, rubbing it in the shoe polish, which is just paraffin wax with a few additives, and then ignite it with our ferro rod to get a long-lasting flame source to start our fire. Speaking of Tinder, that MRE spoon is going to save the day again because it's a great flame extender. We can use this to get a fire going in inclement weather, or if our materials are marginal and we need to dry them out with a long-lasting flame first before that fire actually gets going, the spoon will do it for us. All we need is that spoon, a way to start fire. We have matches that I've dipped in wax, and then we have our survival knife because it's got a good 90-degree edge on the spine that we can use to scrape shavings off the spoon. All we need to do now is grab that knife and spoon and create shavings. Scraping the body of the spoon. Once we get enough shavings, grab a match, ignite it, light the shavings. The fire will do the rest, giving us a long-lasting flame source as the spoon burns. Here's something that's good to know and why we should always have an MRE drink bag in our survival kit. That MRE drink bag has graduated markings up to 12 ounces. 16 ounces is just underneath that first paragraph of writing on the bag. We can mark that out with a permanent marker and place that bag in our kit. When it's time to treat water in survival, we take out the bag and our iodine tablets. Using iodine tablets, typically we treat by the quart. 2 tablets per U.S. quart. 1 U.S. quart, 32 ounces. 32 divided by 2 is 16, which means we just need 1 tablet to go inside our drink bag. We fill it with scummy, nasty water, shake it up, make sure to bleed the Ziploc so we're not drinking contaminated water. And now we have our water treated in a portable container that we put inside of our survival kit, always thinking ahead. That sugar within the MRE can give us another way to start fire while we're out here in the woods, combined with just a little bit of potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate may come in commercial or bought off the shelf survival kits, typically thought of as a way to treat water to make it safe to drink, although that's debatable. More aptly, it's used for a topical wound preparation to help clean a wound. Either way, that potassium permanganate with the sugar combined can give us an exothermic reaction to get a fire started. How we do this is by creating a simple improvised mortar and pestle. Using this block of wood, we're going to carve a little divot, then we're going to grab a stick and we're going to round off the end to make our pestle. We dump in some potassium permanganate, some sugar, stir it up, and then applying downward pressure and friction, we get fire. Here's another tip with that potassium permanganate and that sugar. While it's still burning, we can add more of each to the already burning compound, and it will continue burning, enhancing our ability to get that fire going if we need it. That MRE spoon is quickly becoming our favorite survival tool of the day, and I think we should nominate it for Hero of the Battle just because of its endless uses. We started fires with it, created gorge hooks to go after fish with it, and now we're going to utilize it for another improvisational tool, and that is as an improvised needle and thread kit. We're going to get the needle from the spoon, and then we're going to get the thread from gutted 550 cord. We're going to cut this spoon in half with our combat shears, and then cut out the center of the spoon handle yet again, cut it down and shape it into a general needle shape using the scissors from a multi-tool. We're going to improvise an awl to drill that hole so we can thread the needle with the improvised guts from the 550 to make our thread, and now we have our kit complete. We still have the other half of that spoon left over so we can use it to eat with, or we can wrap the guts of the 550 around it as an improvised bobbin. That MRE bag is a survival tool in and of itself. We can use it with tape as an occlusive dressing for a penetrating chest wound. We can jot down a 9-line medevac on it, or a patrol-based sketch, or in this case, a solar compass to help us find cardinal directions. What we do is make a circle and then put 12 at the top. We're going to have 6 a.m. to the west, 6 p.m. to the east, and then we're going to complete the hours of the day on the top half of the circle only. Determining what time it is, 1:30, we're going to grab a long stick, put it in the crosshairs over the compass, and make sure the shadow crosses the 1:30 mark on our compass. We need to go back 1 hour for daylight savings time, and the lead edge of our compass, the 12 o'clock, should be facing north, and we can check with our compass just to make sure we're good. Containers are always at a premium in survival, and that MRE bag is still a good container that we can use to gather materials off the landscape and bring them back to our camp or our hide site. We can use it to go down to the water, scoop up water, and bring a large quantity of that water back to our camp so we can put it in our canteen cup to make it safe to drink by boiling it over the fire. And we should always safeguard containers. If we have to cut up a container and sacrifice it, it should be for a good reason. One good reason to cut up this MRE bag a little bit is to create an improvised water strainer so we can strain scummy, nasty water like the green stuff you see before you and get all the gunk and pathogens out as much as possible, creating clear water that we can put in our canteen cup, place that canteen cup over a fire, boil it to make it safe to drink. By adding cloth to the bottom of the MRE bag and as much charcoal, sand, gravel, and material as we can find, we can create that strainer, cut a hole in the bottom, and then just strain water at will. Alright guys, another good video. 10 of my favorite survival skills, tips, tricks, and hacks with an MRE, using different components from that MRE to craft fire, to make different tools, to add a little bit of comfort to our life in a survival situation with that MRE frosting. A lot of good skills, tips, and tricks. I really hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I really appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for everything you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.